everybody on the street. The Third World War knocking on our door.
You were just in an election. Did you consider at any point just indicting your challenger? Wouldn't that have been easier?
To do what's going on now in your country, to use the justice system against the political opponents. In Hungary, I think it's impossible to imagine. That was done by the communists.
As the war in Ukraine completely reshuffles the world order and threatens to destroy human civilization, it's striking just how little information Americans are receiving about what happens there. The nation of Hungary shares a border with Ukraine. Its leader, Victor Orbans, the nation's longest-serving prime minister, has been dealing with the Russians all of his life. He grew up under Russian occupation. As a young man, he was arrested and thrown into jail by Russian-backed police for his efforts to liberate the country. And as prime minister, he's dealt regularly with Vladimir Putin, whose nation supplies Hungary with most of its energy. Victor Orban understands Russia and Ukraine. So 2 years after we last spoke to him, we returned to Hungary to sit down with Prime Minister Victor Orban and ask him what exactly is happening in Ukraine right now. Here's what he said. So in the United States, the view is that Ukraine is winning this war. It doesn't sound like that's true.
No, it's a lie. It's not just a misunderstanding. It's a lie. It's impossible. Everybody who's in politics and understand the logic, the figures, the data, no way.
Why is it impossible?
Because that way, the poor Ukrainians die every day.
Yes.
Hundreds and thousands, So my heart is with them. So it's tragedy. It's tragedy for Ukraine. But they will run out earlier from the number of soldiers, than the Russians. What finally will count is boots on the ground. And the Russians are far stronger, far more numerous
There's more
than
of
Ukrainians.
Many more.
So this strategy, what we are just supporting, is a bad engineering of the strategy.
So if the Biden administration has said our goal is to beat Russia, is to effect regime changes to kill Putin and take him out of power.
They misunderstand probably the Russians. To understand the Russians, it's a difficult thing, especially if you have an ocean between you and Russia. So when we speak about politics, I mean Westerners, what is the focus point of our conversation? The focus point is freedom. How to provide more and more freedom to the people.
Yes.
When you speak on politics in Russia, this is not the number one issue. The number one issue, how to keep together the country, because the country is very big. And there's a privilege of the question how to keep together the country and not freedom. Freedom is just another issue, second, third, whatever. First, keep the country together. And that's generate a different kind of culture and understanding of politics. That's create a kind of military approach like
Yes.
they have. Always on security, safety, buffer zone, geopolitical approaches. It's not our culture, it's a different approach. It's legitimate to have that because it's their history. But we have to understand that we cannot beat them as we do just now. It's impossible. They will not kill their leader. They will never give it up. They will keep together the country and they will defend it. We finance more, they will invest more. If we send more technical equipment, they will produce more. So don't misunderstand the Russians.
So they're not going to get sick of Putin and throw him out.
Come on, it's a joke.